What's going on? I'm Spencer Tillis.
I'm Trayvon Miles.
And this is the Delmarva Sports Insider. Thank you for sticking around after that extremely compelling game that we all just got a chance to see.
We thought it was a big game.
A lot of really good
Wasn't a big game
highlights until it started. I mean, it was a struggle. But here's some of what you can see later on today. We're going to recap some great high school basketball games, and definitely ones that you're going to want to watch out for, including one that you got to talk about.
Oh, definitely. The rivals got together in Seaford. Blue Jays and Blue Raiders all blew everything. Only one could take home bragging rights. Stick around to find out who.
And that's not the only game we got going on. There was a full slate of games going on this weekend, including Laurel, who was taking on Milford. Could the Bulldogs pull off the upset at home? But first, we got to talk a little bit about this team. The Green Machine was ready to go early on in this, and I tell you what, Pocomoke, they're one of the teams that everyone was sitting here talking about. Undefeated coming in, and they were looking good early on in this one as well. Tyler Nixon attacks the rack right here, hangs and hits, connects for 2 points. Now, Parkside would actually be trailing early on in that one, but they would try and fight their way back here in the fourth quarter. A good drive to the rack there by Paul Morgan. He hangs and hits on the up and under at the cup, but it would be all Pocomoke from there. Tyrone Matthews hits the three, same spot, same result on another one, as they would stretch that lead, and then they would go ahead and put this thing away. Nixon's going to kick it over to Jarek Johnson, who then finds Leander Roberts for the easy one. The Warriors make a statement with that one, 61-42 the final. And with that one right there, it's safe to say they are now in the driver's seat here in the Bayside. Undoubtedly got to be your number one in the power rankings. And we'll see if Decatur can say something about that later down the road.
We'll see about these power rankings. But we got to go to Delaware. We had a great matchup last night as well, as Cape traveled north to see undefeated Smyrna. And I'll tell you what, Cape led this one late in the fourth. Drew Mulcahy driving. Great look underneath the Randy Rickards. 10 points on the night for that sophomore. But Cape was not worthy of stopping Javier last night. Javier Worthy, he did what he wanted offensively. Finished with a game-high 20. Cape stayed up, though, thanks to this guy, Ian Robertson. Filthy step-back three here. Big Ian, 17 points for the Vikings on the night. Under 2 minutes left. Smyrna now looking to foul, and Rasheed Woods, ice water in his veins. YOLO 3 is good. Coach Ray is excited. And Smyrna, they kept it close, though. Worthy misses the layup here. And Dante Ritchie here to collect the rebound. Puts it back in. Cape up one with 4 seconds to go. Robertson would miss the free throw. Dymere Richardson, his half-court attempt is deflected by Robertson. Everybody in the Smyrna-Clayton area looking for a foul, but no mas. Cape, they hand Smyrna their first loss of the year. Vikings win it 47-46. And I'll tell you what, that was a very low-scoring game. Definitely not what I expected when I walked in the gym. I thought that there would definitely be a lot of scoring going on, but you got to give credit to Cape, the way they came into Smyrna's house and kind of came in and shut that team down.
And Smyrna had been red hot going to that, undefeated. So, I mean, that is a huge road win. All of a sudden now it seems to be, them, Dover, and Cape, all at the top of it. So we're going to see kind of how that, progresses here in the north. Well, in the south, there was a big matchup last night as well. Woodbridge was taking on Seaford, and the Blue Jays looking good early on. The strong take there by Jaquan Darling. Falls down but gets the bucket plus the foul. The Blue Raiders are going to fire right back, though. C.J. Mosley, it's going to be a loose ball, comes to him, and he's going to go ahead and put in the little 12-footer right there. And then it would be Seaford's turn. Darling back at it again, gets the rebound and the putback right here. He has had a monster start to the year. But this basically summed up the night. The highlight of the year so far, Corey Corbin, get out of the way. That is just one of the most nasty dunks I have seen in a high school game in a while. You got to give the help side defender a little credit. I mean, came over, tried his best, but that's just nasty. I mean, that is unbelievable. Blue Raiders, they earned that win, 57-40 the final. And all of a sudden, quietly, Woodbridge is 7-2 right now. They've been playing really well. Now, obviously, they have a tough loss there against Milford in conference, and they still got some work left to do. But they put themselves in a position here for the second half of the year to make a run at this thing. And, not a lot of people are talking about it, but this team has a bunch of good players.
Definitely might see Woodbridge up here in my power rankings coming up here in a little bit. But I tell you what, since we're talking about all the great games we had this week, we had another great game. It ended up being the game of the night on Thursday. Kent Island taking on Cambridge. And the Bucks, man, the Vikings, grabbed the lead early. Niall Thompson finds Emery Wongus with a baseline jumper. 18 points for him. Up 20 after the third. But here comes the comeback. Tariq Johnson, lefty layup to go. Now watch this. 4 seconds left. Bucks down 2, but not for long. The three ball will come up short. And watch the big man, Ben Young, collect the rebound and beats the buzzer for the putback. And we are headed to overtime. From there, again, the Vikings would grab a big lead. Michael Richardson was doing his thing on the outside. Pulls up for three. And what do you know? It's good. Check it back a little bit later. Next possession down. Another three by Richardson, good, and he lets his team know it. But guess what, Young? He did it again, beat the buzzer. Believe it or not, he beat the buzzer for a second time, headed into double overtime. And from there, Cambridge finally puts it away. Niall Smooth Thompson, the sweet move is Cambridge. They pulled out the big win, 75-71 in double overtime.
Well, when you're 6'15", I feel like making those layups right there to tie the game should be pretty easy. That is one of the largest.
I could not believe when he made it the first time, and then he made it the second time. It was just unbelievable, like deja vu.
When they go against, I want to see Ryan Hall out of Easton against that guy. Those are two long, big bodies. That'll be fun to watch.
They look like college guys.
Well, there's also a really good matchup that's going on last night over there in Delaware, I should say, as Laurel was squaring off against Milford. The Dogs looking good early on. Trayvon Dixon pulls up and puts in the long two right there. Breon Murray, though, leads his team right back, gets the drive baseline right there, the reverse finish to go, then attacks one more time, hangs and hits for the and one in the lane right there. Laurel trying to fight their way back from a deficit, and this right here is going to help. Shaheem Falk pulls up from the top of the arc and puts it in, and not outdone just yet. This time it's going to be Brandon Falk driving in. Now, it's originally called a charge, but they would overrule it for an and one after that, but the Bucks were able to pull this thing out. Tymir Reddick gets the ball down low, and the big fella knows exactly what to do with it. And one bucket right there. The Bucks get the win, 60-45 the final.
It was a wild one over in Kent and Wharton as well. Kent County taking on Easton. Shamar Turner cooking again from three. 20 points for him on the night, but the Warriors, they would be right back. Ryan Farr at the foul line is going to hit the mid-range jumper, bottom of the net. The Trojans, they would battle back from a deficit. Manny Camper, right here, one of the smoothest players in the Bayside Conference. Pump fake, and he's headed to the basket. 36 points on the night for Camper.
Is that good?
But Easton, it's not bad. Easton not backing down, though. Trader Shields comes up with a steal off the inbound. He's going to put it home. He's going to talk a little trash, too, as Easton gets the big road win, 96-88. And I tell you what, that is it for our first block. And what a block it was. What a great week it's been altogether. Coming up right around the corner, Caesar Riding, feeling refreshed after the holiday, looking for their second straight win against Sussex Central. Highlights up next.
I'm Elijah Shields, Laurel Bulldogs basketball, and you're watching the Delmarva Sports Insider.